Hey everyone, Mikki here, and today on the Mini Mikkipedia Monday, I want to talk about anxiety. It's a state which can really impact our overall health and our quality of daily life. And I talk to so many people, women in particular, who experience anxiety on a day-to-day basis. While there are some people who might think that they are prone to anxiety, and they may well be, there are others who may not be. But despite all of that, it's fair to say that at some stage of our lives, we all experience anxiety that impacts our thoughts and behaviour. There is good evidence to show that our gut health is related to brain health. So one of the first things to consider with your mood and anxiety levels is the health of your gut. Any gut-related issues could manifest in changes in cognitive function and neurotransmitter production, such as serotonin, dopamine, GABA, which is our calming hormone, and glutamine, which increases our sort of anxious mindset. Similarly, there is evidence existing that actually avoiding meat consumption increases the risk of depression and anxiety, as does not eating enough fruit and vegetables. So diet quality counts. Lower carbohydrate, lower sugar diets with adequate protein are also important, and there is research that outlines the argument for dietary interventions to be utilised as part of an overall approach for anxiety. Another important factor to consider is whether your way of eating is deficient in nutrients the body needs to handle stress and anxiety. For example, vegan, vegetarian, and other diets which might restrict whole sort of classes of food may not be supplying the high level of essential fatty acids and taurine, which are only found in animal products, necessary when you are burning through nutrients due to high anxiety and stress. Diets that are highly processed carbohydrate and, as mentioned earlier, low in fruits and vegetables are also unlikely to supply the vitamin C and possibly magnesium necessary for handling stress. Magnesium is a nutrient that is used in almost 250 different pathways in the body, and our food supply today is much lower than what it has been in the past. So most people could benefit from taking an additional magnesium supplement, which I will talk about. So I'm going to just chat through a few supplements which might be helpful with regards to anxiety, but I did want to obviously preface that with the notion that paying close attention to your diet, first and foremost, is one of sort of the key pillars in helping with anything to do with our brain and our mood and how we feel. So diet certainly matters. However, some supplements which can help. Firstly, EPA and DHA fish oil. Eicosapentaenoic acid and doxohexaenoic acid are essential fatty acids which are abundant in fish. They are also available in wild and free-range animal products. However, I will say that the highest amount you can find in the diet is in fact in fish, and of course fish oil supplements. People who follow a vegetarian or vegan diet can get EPA and DHA from an algae-based supplement. Supplementation with fish oil can help lower cortisol, reduce ratings of stress and anxiety in a variety of populations, including women. Pregnant women can also really benefit and have reported lower stress and improved mental outlook, particularly in relation to difficult life circumstances. Those women who are going through menopause and also women who experience PMS, premenstrual syndrome, during their late luteal phase can also report lower anxiety after having fish oil supplementation. And general guidelines do differ on this, but as a start, adding 2 grams of a good quality fish oil supplement with EPA and DHA together could be super beneficial. So we know that the way that it helps is that our cells are made up of an outside fatty lipid bilayer. And this type of fat that makes up the bilayer affects the metabolism and function of the cell. Having essential fatty acids in the cell layer improves insulin binding and entry of glucose into the cell for energy. And the presence of EPA and DHA in cell membranes also improves oxygen and nutrient use, thereby facilitating cellular energy production, which is important for the function of neurons and the production of neurotransmitters such as GABA, which helps our brain feel calm. Now, vitamin C is another supplement, and we might typically think of vitamin C as an immune nutrient, but it also plays an important role in our stress response. Supplementation with vitamin C has been found to lower fatigue, stress, and anxiety in a variety of populations. Indeed, there was a study showing that in high school students, giving them 500 milligrams a day of vitamin C lowered anxiety after 14 days of supplementation. And a second trial found that taking a high-dose vitamin C supplement, 1,000 milligrams 3 times a day for 14 days, lowered ratings of anxiety and lowered blood pressure after a stressful test. And there was also a faster cortisol recovery, indicating that vitamin C may have helped the body metabolize and eliminate cortisol after the stressful experience. This is important because cortisol can be a lifesaver when we are faced with a physical or mental threat, but it only causes problems when it stays around in the blood once the threat has passed, and these problems can trigger a racing mind, causing inflammation and cellular damage, and also, over time, degrading lean muscle tissue or lean tissue in general, including bones. So vitamin C is super helpful. Vitamin C has an important antioxidant role to play in the brain, helping to protect neurons from inflammation and neurodegeneration. It also helps metabolize stress hormones, and the body uses it in the production of adrenaline and neurotransmitters involved in anxiety and stress management. And the amounts that I mentioned, 500 milligrams and 1,000 milligrams, they're very safe and very easy to sort of get when you go to your pharmacy or even the supermarket for a vitamin C. The vitamin C that I was talking about a couple of Mini Mikkipedias ago is life extension effervescent vitamin C, and it in fact has magnesium in it as well. And it's an ascorbic acid, which is another name for vitamin C powder, and it actually has 5,000 milligrams. As mentioned, magnesium is probably one of the best known nutrients for countering stress and lowering anxiety, and it helps calm the central nervous system and lowers cortisol release. In fact, a review of 18 studies found that magnesium supplementation lowered anxious thoughts in people with chronic anxiety. Another study found that supplementing with magnesium may lower depression and anxiety in women suffering from PMS. Combining magnesium with a vitamin B6 might have a synergistic effect. One study of women with PMS-related anxiety found that giving women 200 milligrams of B6 and 500 milligrams of magnesium daily produced a decrease in their anxiety and stress levels. So, magnesium is necessary for the proper function of brain neurons, and it aids in the metabolism of cortisol. It can inhibit excessive cortisol synthesis, lowering its release. Cortisol is the result of a complex synthesis via which cholesterol is used to make the hormone pregnenolone, and this can be converted to progesterone and finally to cortisol. Magnesium can inhibit the conversion from progesterone to cortisol. The amounts that I suggest people start with might be in that 250 to 300 milligram range. And one of the magnesiums I really like is actually the Ethical Nutrients Mega Magnesium. And it has with it something called taurine. Now, taurine is an amino acid that really helps support the nervous system. And when you have low taurine, your nervous system may well be over-responsive to stress. For example, preclinical trials have found that taurine treatment prior to an anxiety-inducing exercise test resulted in less anxious behavior and better performance compared to a placebo. So there aren't any human clinical trials using taurine for stress and anxiety. However, it is widely used by functional medicine practitioners with patients who do tend to experience more anxiety. Taurine supplementation is particularly important for vegetarians since it is only available in animal products. And because women have a higher rate of vegetarianism, then it is a recommended supplement, particularly if you follow a vegetarian diet. And as I said, that magnesium supplement, Ethical Nutrients Mega Magnesium, also contains taurine at about 3 grams, so that could be super helpful. Another supplement worth considering would be a methylated B complex. So the B vitamins play an important role in cognition, mood, and brain health. Vitamin B6 affects the release of serotonin and other neurotransmitters involved in mood, and it impacts on sleep patterns. Folate, B9, and B12 are necessary for memory function and avoiding depression. Folate and B12 deficiency are both associated with low mood and reduced interest in social activity. And supplementation has shown mixed results, with some studies showing lower stress and anxiety and others showing no effect. And it might be due to the type of B supplement used in those studies. There are genetic differences that affect the way that we can use B vitamins, and the B vitamins being involved in our methylation pathways if you have a genetic SNP, which means that you're unable to convert a type of B12, such as cyanocobalamin, into a methylated form that we can use, then you may not experience a benefit from taking B vitamins. B vitamins that are methylated, though, are a form which is more bioavailable and can lower stress and improve quality of life compared to a placebo. B vitamins are used as cofactors to synthesize serotonin and dopamine, and this can help boost mood and lower the experience of stress. Additionally, the Bs are used during the stress response in the synthesis of adrenaline. So if you are highly stressed, you will use your B vitamins much quicker than you would otherwise. So having a B complex could be super helpful, in a methylated B complex. Some examples of these might be Thorn B complex, which you can get from iHerb, might be BioBalance B complex, which you can find on HealthPost. Jarrow also has a methyl B and folate mix, and as they work together, it can be good to get an integrated B supplement and not just focus on one or the other. Now, some other supplements which might be helpful, particularly if your anxiety does impact negatively on your sleep behavior, one is ashwagandha. So if you don't have any autoimmune challenges, or if you are not allergic to nightshade vegetables, then this can be really effective at a dose of around 600 milligrams. So typically 2 of a 300 milligram capsule. And a brand that I've used in the past is Jarrow Ashwagandha. It is adaptogenic, which means it can help your body cope under times of increased stress, help control cortisol, and helps with the heat shock proteins that mediate the stress response. In addition, the dose that I mentioned, 600 milligrams, can help aid in our sleep process. There is also L-theanine, and this has long been used to support the central nervous system in times of stress and anxiety. In the diet, you find this in green tea. It's a non-protein amino acid, and it increases our alpha wave activity in the brain, which is associated with a more relaxed state. In a dose of 200 milligrams, it may be effective at reducing anxiety levels, and it has a very low toxicity profile, which means it is completely safe. And this L-theanine is widely available in pharmacies, on HealthPost and iHerb in that dose of 200 milligrams. Finally, phosphatidylserine is a compound that reduces cortisol. It has been studied for its impact on reducing stress and levels of anxiety. And when it comes to sleep, there is some literature, but it's pretty scarce really, that some people may benefit from it. But it is widely used by functional sort of doctors and practitioners with regards to helping reduce cortisol and enhance sleep onset. In combination with omega-3s, interestingly, it can reduce cortisol and might help with depressive symptoms also. Recommended amounts are around 400 milligrams, and they are often sold in 100 milligram capsules. And again, Jarrow is another brand that I've used for phosphatidylserine, and you'll see it as PS. And again, it's widely safe, and I've gotten mine from iHerb. Of course, when it comes to anxiety, your diet, your stress management, your activity levels, your sleep, all of these things are really important for you to dial in, because these are actually the biggest dial movers. And in fact, I had a client who I saw, and we got her on a higher protein diet, and we got rid of a lot of the processed carbs, which I mentioned at the outset. And she came back to me a couple of weeks later and she said, you know what? I had a session with my massage therapist who immediately noticed a change in my tissue. So she said that the massage therapist found that her tissue, her skin and everything like that was not as sort of taut and far more relaxed. And she'd noticed that her anxiety in the course between our first appointment and the second appointment had dramatically reduced. And she was astounded because she said, I just thought I was an anxious person. So don't think because you're prone to anxiety that there is nothing you can do about it. There's so much good research around diet, so much good research around lifestyle. In addition to that, there are supplements to support that can help you as you address the other really big pillars in terms of health and mood. All right, team. So that's supplements and anxiety. I hope you've had a great week. And just a reminder, if you want to support the podcast, the best way to do this is to hook up to your favorite podcast platform and subscribe to Mikkipedia. That way, other people will get the insights that guests that I have on the show share, and we can increase the awareness of Mikkipedia out there in amongst the literally thousands of podcasts that exist. That would be amazing. You can catch me on Facebook at Mikki Williden Nutrition, over on Instagram and Twitter at Mikki Williden, or head to my website mikkiwilliden.com to book a call to talk about your nutrition. Have a great week. See you later.